All right, my friends, today we have Dan Covel answering questions about blue belts. That's right, my friends. Today we have Dan Covel, and he's answering questions about blue belts. Hope you enjoy the interview, and I hope you learned something. So here we go. First off, Dan, do you have any requirements when giving out a blue belt? And if you do, what are they?
Yeah, I most certainly do. What I'm looking for out of someone that is eligible to receive a blue belt from me is some of the most basic techniques from jiu-jitsu, but the things that are built going forward, meaning it's a solid foundation. If you can't do the most basic things, if we can't get a takedown, it doesn't need to be a specific takedown, but I need to see someone that is competent from their feet, at least able to do a takedown, defend a takedown. I also need to see a development of a guard of some sort. There needs to be some sort of guard retention ability, a guard that they're looking to play always, something that they're going to really be the foundation of their game going forward. The same thing that comes to passing. And more than anything else, when it comes to being on the mat, is I want to be able to see the person competently defending themselves when it comes to grip fighting, head positioning, what they're doing with their hips. Are they really looking to escape using a hip escape? Are they laying flat? Are they looking for underhooks? Are they looking to make their situation better through the simplest, most basic things that we've discussed thus far?
A couple things kind of call my attention. You're wanting to see some takedowns, or maybe not some, but to see a method to get the fight to the ground, and also a sprawl, I think you mentioned. But
Correct.
Really, somebody who 100% of the time pulls guard and really doesn't have a takedown, you want to see them do something as far as takedown. And the same thing from the person who may be already good at taking people down. You want to see them have some kind of a guard developed. Is that
correct?
What I'm feeling there. Is that often
correct.
a problem for somebody that they're a pretty good white belt, they're starting to get up there and really roll pretty good with the blues, but they have really limited themselves sometimes in their development? Do they need to kind of step outside that box to kind of, well, at least I got to get a takedown that I feel good about?
Yeah, I think sometimes it's really there's a sense of trepidation that comes over a lot of people when it comes to takedowns, especially if there's no background, judo background, wrestling background coming from the specific athlete. That it's something that people always, because it's kind of whispered in the jiu-jitsu community, like, oh, that's how you get hurt. That's where you're going to get hurt most likely. That's why from the instant someone steps on the mat at any one of my programs, we start to show them and we start to develop some sort of stand-up game. We don't expect anyone to be an Olympic level wrestler or a judo player, but we expect people to understand that every fight, tournament, self-defense situation is most likely going to start from their feet. So you have to be comfortable, if not competent, right from the beginning. We can't allow that to be a weak point. We can't allow that to be something that people shy away from. So we immediately throw people into that. So there is no like, oh, hey, I never got a chance to work on this. No, it's part of our warm-up. It's part of our curriculum. It's part of combat sports from our viewpoint.
While you're looking for these things, is this like an actual test you're giving where they're demonstrating with either a live opponent or a cooperative opponent, or are you just noticing this when they're on the mat training, or are you matching people up and watching them roll specifically for this test? How is this done?
I watch the students train on a daily basis. I think a test set aside to have someone do rope memorization like a standardized test in school, I think it defeats the purpose. And I also think it's really lazy, to be honest with you. I think, not to say it's a bad thing completely, and I especially understand people with overwhelming numbers of students that they have to take that route and kind of test people accordingly. But I think it's better for the students, better for the instructors, better for their teammates to observe people and really invest in their development by watching them, taking stock in how they're doing. How are they going against XYZ? Someone that is comparable mat time, size, physical attributes, everything accordingly. You take that into account while you're watching their development. And as it's going, you should really be making notes of this as the instructor, as the coach. Like, these are the things that people are paying you for. These are the things that people are coming to you for. So you should be taking inventory of this person's skill set. And that's how I go about it. It's a daily evaluation. I'm expecting to see something. You hear the thing, the 1% better. I don't anticipate anyone getting 1% better every single day. I'll take 0.000 whatever, 1% at that point. You know what I mean? Like, we're talking marginal improvements. And I'm trying to give the athlete as much feedback as possible. And a lot of times, especially early on, and early on I mean for the first, 4 or 5 years, a lot of it just comes down to being, mindful of your head position, grip fighting, underhooks, where your hips are in relationship to the other person's hips. These are the things that really make or break most situations and what everything else is built off of. So you have to do it on a daily basis. It's just like anything else. If you expect to get better, you kind of have to cultivate that, and it has to be done daily. I can't just kind of cut them loose and go, hey, in 3 months I'll take a look at you. No, I want to see it daily, and I want to see about the things that we've discussed daily, and I want to see just a little bit of improvement daily. That's what we're looking for.
Is it important for a student to be able to defend their belt?
Yeah, listen, especially training, there are so many things that go into that situation. People's workday, people's personal life, people's experience outside of the gym, what time they're coming in. Listen, I want to see a person, everything being equal, go up against their peer and be able to do well. But if they get caught with somebody that is, quote unquote, technically inferior to them because of their belt color, I don't stand there and go, I can't believe it, or I'm going to hold it against you as when the promotions are coming up. It will happen, and it's okay. It's practice. We're here to get better. Do I expect the person to learn from the mistake and build off of it and then come back, whether even be within that round during training or the following day, and learn from that and put that lesson forward? Yeah, of course. But is it the worst thing in the world? No. And is it going to be like a mark on their permanent file? No. But if it becomes habitual, and we discuss it and try to go over it and correct it, and then they don't make adjustments accordingly, going forward, that might be something that becomes an issue. But normally, when you're talking about that, if someone's getting caught by a lower belt on a consistent basis, something's probably off. Something's probably off, and you're more likely going to be able to correct it than not if you're paying attention. So it's not the end of the world, and no, it's not the biggest of deals, especially during practice.
Yeah, I think one of the words you said there was on a consistent basis. Things happen, we're rolling, and you're getting a lot of time in on the mat with people, and you put somebody 2 belt ranks lower than you on your back, and you're still in trouble. Put them there long enough, and you'll get caught eventually. But is it consistently somebody getting tapped out by somebody who is ranked lower than them? Probably unlikely, and if so, a little fine-tuning probably should help that out quite a bit. Yeah,
I completely agree.
Daniel, when making a belt promotion consideration, do you take into effect intangible things like, is this person a good teammate? Is their attitude good? Do they help others? Do those things come into play when promoting a blue belt?
Yeah, they do. They do, but I wouldn't say I weigh them as heavily as maybe some other people do. I always make references when I'm discussing things with my students. Listen, you're here to train. Everyone's going to be friendly. We're very fortunate, especially considering the fact that we're in the New York City metro area. We people in this area kind of get a rap about being a little, standoffish, gruff, whatever. Everyone's very friendly, outgoing. We're very fortunate. But do I expect everyone to be best friends? No. Do I expect everyone to high-five each other afterwards like a Mentos commercial? Absolutely not. But yeah, I want to see some sort of team bonding and someone willing to do something for somebody else, because then that person should be able to do that for that person when they need help, whether it be getting ready for an event or, just a physical fitness thing. So I tell everyone, we're here for exercise more than anything else, and to learn how to defend ourselves. And then thirdly, competition and so on and so forth. You have to be willing to be a good component to this overall team, and that goes into judging someone. Do you want people around long term anywhere that are going to be A, problematic, B, dramatic in general, and C, someone that is going to chase off other people? No, you don't want that, and you definitely don't want them as a representation of you. I don't look at my students and go, you guys have to emulate me in every single form and fashion. My honor's at stake. I don't do that. But I expect someone to be a good teammate, and that's a wide generalization, and people can view that differently. But I think when you say good teammate, you can basically equate that to good person. And I almost assume everyone as an adult kind of has a rough idea of what that looks like. Polite, and that's about it. No one needs to be everyone's best friend. Polite and help each other and try not to break each other on the mat, and we're good to go.
There we go. Different people have different personality traits for sure. Definitely looking for some things, but realistic view of it, and we're not all going over to everyone's house and having different dinners and all that stuff. Sometimes that happens, and people definitely make those friendships, but to think that everybody is going to have that same relationship with everybody else is a bit unrealistic. It's part of having that diverse group that we enjoy on the mats.
Yeah, I completely agree.
Dan, thinking back to all the blue belts you've promoted, do you ever regret giving somebody a blue belt?
No, I would never regret giving someone a blue belt, because I look at things just like life. At whatever time period that is in life, that person earned it. And that's the other reason that I'm not big on testing. Testing, it's not. Combat sports, jiu-jitsu in particular, is something that when it comes to promotions, you earn. You earn through your time in the mat and the other things that we discussed in terms of the intangibles and being a good, just teammate. And those things are at that moment what make you eligible for that promotion. Now later down the line, if something happens or whatever, that's besides the point. But when that person is ready for something that they earned, and again, that's what we're here for, that everyone enjoys the fact, and that's what separates jiu-jitsu from most other martial arts, is the fact that you're earning it. You're earning it. There is no one, there shouldn't be at least, just giving things to people because of time or whatever, whatever other measurable. It's earned through your effort. It's earned through learning. It's earned through your technical prowess. It's becoming someone that you can put that belt on and say, yeah, they're representing what I believe to be proper ranks at this point. And I've never had an issue. And again, fortunate enough that I've never looked back and go, I can't believe I gave that person X, Y, Z belt. Never.
Dan, do you have any advice for the new blue belt?
Yeah, of course. This is the beginning of the beginning. When you get a blue belt, you should look at it as like, wow, now I've been around enough. I've committed myself. I've become consistent enough in this activity, and I'm invested enough in this activity that I've been rewarded with the first step of many steps, of which hopefully will be a lifelong pursuit. Because if this isn't something that is a lifelong pursuit, like what are we doing? Because everyone always discusses, jiu-jitsu in this form that it's like, it should be something that is lifelong, and life happens to a lot of people, and and changes the dynamic and what their goals are and so on. I really do feel that jiu-jitsu can fit into anyone's lifestyle, whatever it is, whatever walk of life you're from. As you receive a blue belt, you should go, this is something that I've achieved through hard work, through being consistent, through all of the things that you've heard about in your life that makes a successful person. That's what makes a blue belt. Determination, hard work, those type of things, discipline, hungry. All of those are like a Rocky montage, more or less. Those are the things that you can take away once you get promoted to blue belt jiu-jitsu. And that's, and you hear a lot of program owners, gym owners, coaches talk about there's a lot of loss in terms of student body around the blue belt area because, life happens like we've already discussed. But I think the problem with getting the blue belt is that the time period is more or less a year to 2 years. And then someone's like, the next step can vary widely to purple belt. It's a huge variation. And I don't think it's the time from blue to purple that makes it such a the person was sick of waiting or whatever. I think that life just happens sometimes. But I think the person that really values receiving a blue belt will take those those values that came along with achieving it and hopefully continue to push that forward in the pursuit of this martial arts path that they've taken on. It's something committed to. Now it's intrinsic in their lifestyle. They can't live without it. Exercise, it's their therapy, it's their fill in the cliche blank that everyone uses when they talk about jiu-jitsu. But it's true. The jiu-jitsu fills a big void for a lot of people. And getting your blue belt should let you know that you are more than competent and you are more than capable of achieving anything you want, especially within the guidelines of the sport, but even outside that construct of just jiu-jitsu. It's like, wow, I've applied myself, and someone who I would imagine they look up to their coach in some way has found me in my effort good enough to promote me. And that's hopefully what they take away from it. And that's a life lesson that can be applied going forward in any direction.
All right. Well, thank you very much for answering these questions. And I think they will be a lot of help for people going forward as they get their blue belts, as they get close, or as they really settle into that level that they're at.
Great. It was my pleasure.
I hope you enjoyed the interview. I know I sure did. I also interviewed 5 other black belts and asked them the same questions we talked to Dan about today. We have Tim Sled, Matt Thornton, Bernardo Faria, Henry Akins, and John Will. You just heard Dan's interview, and they answered the same questions he did. It's fun to get different perspectives on the same questions from such leading coaches. Like the video, it helps out a ton. Comment down below with what you think of the interview, and subscribe to the channel to check out more jiu-jitsu action. Stay sweaty, my friends.